Welcome back to the show. Now I'm still joined on the line by Independent TD Seamus Healy. Now Seamus, I want to talk to you about last night's meeting on Clonmel Credit Union. Members are seeking an EGM to discuss any potential merger with Charleville. About 130 people attending last night's meeting. Before I ask you about it, a number of people spoke to Tipp FM's head of news, Trudy Waters. We're going to hear from those people now. They said they would prefer if the merger didn't go ahead.
I have been a shareholder with Clonmel Credit Union for many long year now, and I'm concerned about what the impact may be on my shares, on the dividends and on the overall future of the credit union in town.
Now, the management and CEOs have come out and said that, the interests of the credit union members are at the heart of this, that there may or may not be a merger, may or may not come to fruition, but that, the members' concerns or the best interests of the members is at heart. Do you take any comfort from that?
I think I might take more comfort from that if there's representation from the credit union here tonight.
What about yourself?
I'm just concerned about our shares in the credit union. I'm in there since 1975, and like that, I know the whole town, they look forward to getting the dividends at Christmas time. It helps them buy presents and food and things for Christmas, and I'm concerned that we might lose it all. It's more like the banks are taking over.
Now, many credit unions across the country have merged, but I suppose what's unusual about this is it's a merger from one in Tipp and another one in Cork. Would that be of concern to you too, given, I suppose, it's carrying a large debt?
Well, I know we've already merged with Fethard, but in our merge with Cork, and if they're coming in with a debt, are we going to carry their debt? That's what I'm concerned about. The credit union was always a people's bank. There's somebody going, if you have personal touch, you knew somebody, the manager, you always knew somebody in there. But if it's taken over, we might lose all touch with that,
You're a lifelong member of the credit union?
Yes, I suppose 25 years more. I have concerns that they're taking over a credit union that's basically in debt, and how it's going to affect us as members. With regard to our dividend and all the rest at Christmas. And I think, even though some people think big is better, I don't think so. I would rather keep the credit union as it is.
The credit union management CEO have come out and said a merger may or may not come to fruition, but the best interests of members will be kept in mind at all times. Does that give you any form of solace or comfort?
No, not really. Now, I would like that they would hold a meeting with the board, the management and the members, and let the members have their say. After all, their slogan is, it's our credit union. So I take our credit union from us.
How long have you been with the credit union?
Since it opened. Years and years. Years and years, yeah. It's very important, yeah. So far as, provided they keep it small. I don't want any extra credit unions. It's at the moment it's big enough. And it's really only for the ordinary people who want to put in some money, save a few pounds, and maybe get a loan. And that'll be about it. Other than going big, if you go into banking type stuff, I think you're going too big. I think it has to be kept fairly local, fairly personal. I mean, if I look back when I began membership first, it was very, very personal type thing. You knew everybody, and they knew you, and that was it. You put in your money and you took out a loan and you paid it back, and I wouldn't like to see it going any further than that.
I'm not in favour of Clonmel merging with Charleville. Number one, if they're in debt, why should the Clonmel members have to take on their debt? And what's the consequences for the Clonmel Credit Union? Not today, but further down the line. Why weren't we informed from day one that was in the pipeline that they were going to merge? It should go to a members' vote as to whether we merge with them or not. Unless it's in our interest, I don't think we should be merging.
I've come here basically because I actually didn't know anything about this until yesterday. And I just want the credit union to give a public meeting to all the committee. I mean, we are the the owners of the credit union say. Just based on a bit of information.
How long have you been a member?
Oh gosh, don't even ask me that.
But it's important to you. It's an important part of your life.
45 years.
45 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So has it been good to you in that time?
Oh yeah, it's been very good to me, yeah. Still is very good to me.
And you're afraid that could all end with a merger?
Well, I don't know what's going to happen with the merger. I've no problem with a merger, but from what I hear about, where is it? Charleville. There's an awful lot of bad debt there. But I just think that the members are entitled to be informed what's going on.
That's a number of people there speaking to Trudy Waters at last night's public meeting on the potential merger between Clonmel and Charleville Credit Union. Seamus Healy still joins me on the line. Seamus, thank you so much for staying on the line. A lot of fear, a lot of confusion, a lot of people looking for answers last night.
That's right, Alison, and unfortunately I suppose we weren't able to give an awful lot of answers last night. That was the reason for the meeting, was the lack of information, the lack of clarity in relation to the whole thing. I think it's important to say, first of all, that from my own point of view, I'm hugely supportive of the credit union movement and indeed of Clonmel Credit Union. I'm a lifelong member. My dad was a founding member. I appreciate the huge work being done by the credit union in Clonmel on behalf of the town and on behalf of the members of the credit union, and I appreciate the volunteering nature of the movement and of the current board and previous boards who've gone before them. They've built a hugely effective credit union, a hugely financially strong credit union in Clonmel. And I'm fully supportive of the credit union and of the movement generally. I think there are probably two difficulties in relation to the current situation. The first is the lack of information, the lack of clarity in relation to the whole situation, the fact that members were effectively made aware of this through media reports earlier last week, and that the credit union hasn't responded by way of giving information to members. And I think, the current situation from Clonmel Credit Union would suggest that when this process is completed and when a decision is made in relation to it, that decision will be made by the board of Clonmel Credit Union, by the board of Charleville Credit Union, and the decisions of the board, those two boards, will be then sent for approval to the central bank. And it's only at that stage that members will be notified and given a period of 21 days to effectively appeal that decision or to make representations in relation to that decision to the central bank, who will make the final decision. I think members are not satisfied with that. And they're not satisfied with that because the credit union movement, the whole ethos of the credit union movement is community-based, not-for-profit, and crucially, member-owner. And the members are the owners of the credit union. And certainly those who attended the meeting last night and those members who approached me and contacted me over the last week or so are adamant that the members must make the decision in relation to what happens. And that they must be afforded the opportunity to do so at a special general meeting. And that's what the meeting last night agreed, and a request to that effect now signed and supported, in accordance with the statutory requirements, will go to the board of Clonmel Credit Union today, requesting a special general meeting to do that. I think that's a very important part of the process, the fact that members must have the final say in relation to what transpires. This is a very significant proposal. It's a huge change. It has been said that Clonmel Credit Union has merged with Featherton Mullinahone in recent times, and so it has. However, they're adjacent credit unions. neither credit union were in financial difficulty, and in fact the only reason they wanted to merge with Clonmel was that the very demanding regulatory guidelines of the central bank was making it very difficult for them to meet those guidelines, and so they decided to merge with Clonmel Credit Union. The Charleville situation is completely different. There's absolutely no comparison. It is significantly underfunded, much less than the statutory
in debt
and significant debt, but also much. Every credit union must have a statutory fund of 10%, a minimum of 10% of members' assets in a statutory reserve fund. That is not the case in Charleville. It's significantly less than that. I'm told it's something like 4%. Now, we're told that situation be rectified by the Irish League of Credit Unions Rescue Fund, and that Charleville would be bailed out to the tune of about €4 million by the Irish League of Credit Unions Fund. But the problem, again, these are all questions arising. There are other credit unions around Charleville. There's Kilmallock, there's Mallow, there's a number of credit unions in Cork City, which is not too far away. It would appear that none of these credit unions have taken the view that they should amalgamate or merge or take over Charleville, and that's a worrying thing in itself. But I think the key thing is that members of Clonmel Credit Union need information in relation to this. They need information from the board of Clonmel Credit Union, and they need to be given the final say in the decision, whatever the decision is in relation to this proposed merger. And that, as I say, is what that meeting decided last night, and a request under the legal statute for special general meetings will go to the board of Clonmel Credit Union today in relation to that.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there for this morning. Seamus Healy, thank you very much for coming on the show.